You know, it's hard to find a singer bigger than Diana Ross or Barbra Streisand, but both divas are coming under fire for their comments regarding Michael Jackson in the face of calls of a boycott of his music.
All right, let's cut to the chase. Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. Were they star-crossed lovers? Or just two pop legends fueling a very public, very strategic flirtation? I mean, 1 minute they're hugging and laughing on stage, and the next, Michael's literally building a shrine to her in his house. Was this the greatest unrequited love story in pop history? Or just Michael living in a fantasy while Diana navigated the fine line between affection and career-saving distance? This isn't a fairy tale, and it definitely doesn't end with a happily ever after. So buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into a story full of love, heartbreak, and wait for it, songs written about her. The infatuation begins, the early days. Michael Jackson's obsession with Diana Ross began when he was just a 10-year-old boy. Can you imagine? At 10, most of us were still trying to figure out how not to spill juice on ourselves. But Michael, he was meeting the Diana Ross while auditioning for Motown with his brothers. Diana was already a full-blown icon. Picture this: Motown's golden girl, fresh off her Supremes fame, now making her mark as a solo star. Meanwhile, the Jackson 5, fresh-faced and full of talent, are trying to break through. Now there's this old myth floating around that Diana Ross discovered the Jackson 5 and handed them stardom on a silver platter. Yeah, no, that's not how it happened. But did the media play it up? Absolutely. Hey, when you're trying to sell records, why not sprinkle in a little fairy tale for good measure? Despite the myth, one thing's for sure: Diana was instantly impressed by the young Michael. After the group signed with Motown and the Jackson family moved to LA, Michael, get this, ended up living with Diana. And that's where things got interesting. Little Michael started calling her his girlfriend and wouldn't let anyone near her. He was possessive, even at that age. We're talking a 10-year-old claiming Diana Ross as his girlfriend. Bold move, right? The Wiz and the ultimate tease. Fast forward to 1977. Michael's now 19 and Diana's still the queen of his heart. By this time, they're both cast in The Wiz. Michael as the Scarecrow, Diana as Dorothy. And here's the juicy part: Diana's role as Dorothy? It was rumored she only got it because she convinced Michael to take part. At 33, let's just say she wasn't exactly who the producers had in mind for a young Dorothy. But behind the scenes, oh, it was a different story. They were inseparable, partying at Studio 54 until the early hours of the morning, late to set the next day. You know, typical besties, right? There's even this wild story about Diana spending the night at Michael's apartment during the filming. When they were late to set, one of Diana's assistants called, only to find out they were together. Coincidence? Sure. Then there's this little tidbit that really stirred the pot. Diana was overheard at a party saying, "Well, I'll tell you one thing. Michael definitely isn't gay." Yeah, that'll keep the rumor mill spinning for a while. When people asked Michael if anything happened between them, his answer? You'd have to ask her. I mean, could you be more cryptic? Come on, Michael, throw us a bone. Age gaps and career calculations. By now, Michael's teenage crush on Diana had turned into full-blown infatuation. He was convinced they were meant to be together. But here's where things get complicated: the age gap. Michael might not have cared that Diana was 13 years older than him. Love knows no age, right? But Diana? Not so much. She wasn't exactly jumping at the chance to play the role of older woman to someone she met when he was practically still in short pants. Diana knew that getting involved with Michael on that level wasn't just risky, it was career suicide. She was fiercely ambitious, and the last thing she needed was for the public to see her as some cradle snatcher in love with the king of pop. Public image was everything to Diana, and no matter how close they were behind closed doors, she kept things light and flirtatious in public. But in private, Michael wasn't giving up. He clung to the idea that they were meant to be. Obsession reaches new heights. 144 photos. Seriously? Let's fast forward to one particularly bizarre moment that sums up Michael's obsession. After a photo shoot with Diana and photographer Todd Gray, Michael did something unusual. He ordered 144 prints of every single picture. Yep, you heard that right. 144. Why, you ask? According to Michael, it's because he wanted one set for himself and one for Diana. Nothing creepy about that, right? When Todd Gray asked if he was sure about the number, Michael simply responded, "Yes, I can count." Oh well, glad we cleared that up. But the real kicker? This wasn't just a one-off gesture. Michael was full-on obsessed. In fact, he had a shrine dedicated to Diana Ross at his house. A shrine. Photos, mementos, the whole deal. We're not talking about a little photo on the nightstand, folks. This was serious dedication. Heartbreak and songs of a love lost. Then came the ultimate gut punch for Michael. In 1985, Diana met and fell in love with Norwegian shipping magnate Arne Næss Jr. A year later, they got married. And Michael, he was devastated. So devastated, in fact, that he canceled his appearance at the wedding last minute. Now, if you thought Michael was going to get over it, think again. He may have said he was happy for her, but in reality, he was heartbroken. He even admitted to being a little jealous. But instead of moving on like most people would, Michael did what any world-famous pop star would do. He wrote songs about her. Remember the time? Yep, that one's about Diana. His brother Jermaine even confirmed it. And then there's Dirty Diana, which, while technically about groupies, fans can't help but speculate was also a little jab at Diana Ross. The final curtain, the will, the legacy, and the end. Even after Diana's marriage, Michael held on to his feelings for her. In 1995, when Diana visited him in the hospital, he kicked his then-wife Lisa Marie Presley out of the room to make space for Diana. Can you imagine how that went down? "Hey honey, I know you're my wife, but could you make room for my one true love?" Yikes. But it didn't stop there. After Michael's death in 2009, it was revealed that he had named Diana Ross in his will as the person he wanted to take care of his kids if his mother, Catherine, couldn't. If that's not a final testament to his undying love, I don't know what is. It wasn't just a love that never was. It was a love that could never be. Despite the ups, downs, and countless rumors, Diana always had a special place in Michael's heart. In his mind, she was the one who got away, the unrequited love he never quite moved on from. So, what do you think? Was Michael's obsession with Diana Ross just a harmless childhood crush that got out of hand? Or was there something deeper? Something Diana just couldn't bring herself to reciprocate. One thing's for sure, this story is packed with drama, heartbreak, and some seriously iconic music. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you're here for more pop culture mysteries and untold stories, hit that subscribe button and check out our latest video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.